Kinjas was comprised of a lot of former ABDC champions like myself from Jabberwockies. So the way that the producers saw it is like, yo, man, this is kind of like the all-stars of all these other teams that these guys were on, and now they are like this like sort of all-star crew.
Ruslan.
Before we get into that, guys, my name is Ruslan, and this channel exists to encourage you to mastermind your business the master's way. All right, now let's get into the video. You feel this tug to step out on faith. Was there things that you had kind of taken care of in your personal life practically? Like, did you have some money saved up? Were you able to kind of make that transition where you weren't just going from like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
oh, I'm set to like nothing, you know? Like, was there lifestyle creep bad, meaning you were just kind of blowing all your bread, or were you like in a stable space financially to take? Because I think that's a lot of things that aren't factored in when people are taking those steps of faith. Is like, if you are halfway wise, that transition is way smoother. When God tells you to go,
wise,
because if God's telling you to like, yo, I want you to move from Vegas, leave your life behind, and follow me in this way, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna have to go drive for Uber, right? Or like, okay, cool, I got a little bit of an on ramp to help me move and then figure out what I'm gonna do. What was that like practically?
Yeah, praise God, I was halfway wise.
Okay.
You know, I had some bread saved up.
Okay,
and you know, and bless the homies, man. You know, as I departed, they gave me, you know, kind of a departing gift as well. So that's
dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
it was a blessing, man. And you know, even with that, I was like, they didn't have to, you know. So like God already knew how He was planning to take care of me. And so yeah, that year of 2014 was my transitional year, and you know, thank God I was able to live off of just the things that I kind of had saved up. And that gave me that breathing room to figure out, now that I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to do this Kinjas thing. Like, here's how we got to like start. If we're going to be a business, like, boom, here's some like foundational things that we got to get, you know, in place. So we just kind of laid down the foundations of that year. And man, like when God has a plan, like He knows how to like super speed you into whatever that plan is. Because 2015, which was the year right after all of this foundational, that's when that very show that we won, ABDC on MTV, that came back for a season 8, and that was in 2015. And then they invited Kinjas to be on that show.
Wow, full circle.
Full circle, like literally a whole, I mean, from season 1 to season 8, like literally, you know, like, and that season 8 was supposed to be season of champions, meaning they wanted to bring back all the previous winners of the seasons before to compete to become the ultimate America's Best Dance Crew, which was funny because Kinjas had never competed. We were never on the show prior, but Kinjas was comprised of a lot of former ABDC champions like myself from Jabberwockies, and then Mike Song was on Kaba Modern. He was also season 1. They were a fan favorite crew. There were a couple of homies that were like on Most Wanted crew that were also a part of Kinjas. So the way that the producers saw it is like, yo, man, this is kind of like the all-stars of all these other teams that these guys were on, and now they are like this like sort of all-star crew. So they brought us on as like this wild card crew, and then we made it all the way to the finals. It was between Kinjas and Quest crew. We lost to Quest crew at the end, but you know, we gained a lot of exposure. We gained a ton of followers and fans that even though we lost the show, we did a crowdfunding campaign that our intention was to win the show, to use that money to build a dance studio. And, you know, the prize was like $100K, and we didn't win the $100K, but we're like, yo, let's do a crowdfunding campaign. We raised like $127K in 30 days.
Come on, bro.
And so we're like, I guess we won. Because that was the whole point of the show.
Wow.
So we're like, man, like the power of, you know, building, you know, a community of people to support you, and then, you know, getting that right opportunity of exposure, and then God breathing on it. It's like, hey, I'm going to accelerate this thing, you know, so that you guys can kind of be in that position. And yeah, so that was, man, already, you know, 2015, 14 to now it's been 10 years, you know what I'm saying? So here we are.
How poetic, man. That's a trip, bro. That's a trip. That's crazy. Okay, so thank you for sharing that, man. So I want to hear more about your food journey, because when I shared our the reel of me on your guys' podcast, a couple people reached out and was like, yo, he's the real deal when it comes to this food thing. And I was like, okay. I had glanced at your socials a little bit, you know what I mean? And I understood that you were in that. You told me like, yeah, this is what I do. So tell me a bit about your journey and some of the stuff you're doing in that world.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the people that told Ruslan that that enjoy my food game. Thank you. You know what? It all started actually only about 4 years ago. It hasn't been that long. I give a lot of props to one of the co-founders of a lot of projects I'm in, Andy Wynn. Shout out to Philip. We basically we have a company called Secret Sauce Society. It's a simply put, it's not simple, but simply put,
It sounds like a food Illuminati right there. That's fire. Secret Sauce Society.
Yeah.
That's the sickest name, dude.
That's an ill name, bro. When
you,
people
thank
say
you,
it's
thank
not
you.
about the name, sometimes it's about the
They-
name.
sometimes
The
it's about
name
the
just
name.
sets
Yeah.
an ill precedent. That's fire.
Thank you. Yeah, it's everything we do is word of mouth, so it really does match what we do. But it's food entertainment. So like, what does that look like? We bring brands, so we bring digital brands to a physical place. So we try to create a food brand or restaurant around the idea. That's one. The other thing we do is we like to work with people that have influence and build a restaurant around them. So we've worked with celebrities and built brands for them. So simply put, what put us on the map first was Bored and Hungry, which was a smash burger brand. It was the first NFT restaurant, and it was during the hype of Bored Apes and all that. I don't know if anyone knows that out there. Look them up. It was this craze during 2021, 2022, and we were in the hype of that. And the moment we created a restaurant where you could take digital currency and buy a burger, people lost their minds because they were like, wait, hold on. All of a sudden, all this fake money is real money?
So you're talking like Bitcoin and Doge and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so we accepted Ethereum, we accepted Bitcoin, and we accepted ApeCoin.
Okay.
Specifically because it was a Bored and Hungry themed restaurant. So when you got in there, we had apes of our own, like we bought the NFT, and it was our first large viral project we did together. And when I say viral, the day that we opened, it was like 4-hour lines. I think 1,500 people showed up into the block in Long Beach, California. We shut down the block, and literally people flew in to eat this burger. Like it was like a moment in time. What happened after that was immediate virality. I'm talking, we hit like 84 articles in one day, and we traveled to Asia, London, Canada, all over the US. We started traveling to not only expose the brand, but to be part of this like monstrosity, which was the blockchain community. Like it was crazy at that time. And we were invited to speak everywhere. We're talking about community, culture, and technology. Like, how do we mix it together? How do you make utility after all this talk about like, hey, this does that and whatever? Because everything was so digital, but we were bringing it to real life quickly. And they were like, how are these guys doing it so fast? Honestly, we're just like Asian hustlers. You know what I mean? Like we're just working hard, bro. Like that's what we don't do anything new.
Yeah.
It's just a different hustle, and we're just working hard. And during that, we had some viral brands. Like we work with Snoop. We created an ice cream brand with him. Shout out to the dogs team. Shout out Cordell. But we work with them, and it was great. They were really into the blockchain community as well. So we got to collab on some projects there. And then shout out Bun B, in Houston and H-Town.
That's right. He had a restaurant too,
Trill
right?
Burger.
Yeah.
So we're the same team that was part of that right in the beginning and building that up. So we're still out there in Houston. It's blowing up everywhere, by the way. Trill Burgers, we love you. But and so we got to work with all of these different cultural brands at the time, and it just continued to skyrocket.
So much for watching that video. Guys, I believe that one of the best ways you can build a business is by first building a platform online. So Zach Sparazzo put together a free training for you on the #1 metric you can be looking for to explode your YouTube platform. Click the link in the pinned comment below so you can start that now. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.